Welcome to Veronica Live, and I'm here with my wingman, John Salak. And John, you and I have to talk all the time with our Afterburner political roundup. We're waiting for guests to call in, so we'll see. Sometimes, guests get confused because I had scheduled another guest that I scheduled last week, and his assistant messed it up. So we had 2 weeks in a row, but he's going to join us next week. But John, so much going on.
I know.
I want to start first here with you. Yesterday, I was so moved with President Donald Trump being at Arlington Cemetery, remembering the 13 Afghanistan soldiers that were killed in Abbey Gate on our pullout. When we decided to pull out and not take out a sniper. And what a mess that was. And guess where he was? Arlington. And then darling Joey was in Rehoboth Beach in his damn beach recliner asleep. And I don't even know where the hell Kamala was. And the families, what came out of that yesterday too, the families said that nobody has ever called them from the administration, President Biden or Kamala, to say we're so sorry. Can you believe that? I mean, these people
I absolutely can. I absolutely can believe it. It's who these people really are, Veronica. They don't like the military. They don't see any honor in serving this country.
Well,
because they've never
died.
served.
13 people died, and you remember when those bodies came back, and Biden actually was looking at his watch. That is going to be an iconic legacy photo for this president.
Exactly, but it's like I said, they don't care, and they're there, because it's a symbol, and they got to be there, and that's why he's looking at his watch, because it's like, damn, is this thing over yet, or not? Can I go get an ice cream?
These people, and then what moved me the most was he was putting flowers at one of the soldiers' tombstones, and the family for some reason couldn't be there. And he was on the phone with the family at the tombstone. And people are like, oh, he did that for, the cameras. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either because people like, and even go back to George Bush, right? George Bush visited with every Gold Star family. And he never publicized it. There were no cameras there, from the news groups, because it wasn't intended for them. It wasn't about them.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the fact that just shows that you generally care about the people, and you understand what they're going through and the sacrifice that was made. When we joined the military, you're signing up to saying, hey, I may get killed doing this. Malcolm flew fighters, right? Dangerous job. I flew in P3s.
No, people were killed.
Dangerous job,
fighters.
Right?
They were killed.
Right, and it's a serious business, and it's got serious consequences when things go wrong, and they can go wrong in a flash. So it's not something that you take lightly when people get killed, and you shouldn't. And particularly in that case, those guys were there to protect the Americans we were trying to get out. And the only reason they ended up being there was because the administration bumbled it, and it's no accountability. Did anybody get fired for that?
Nobody got fired. And then here's the other thing. All of the Afghanis that supported us, and I think it was this week, Afghanistan has said that all women, you can't listen to music. All women have to be covered. No women can go to school. So what was all of the years that we spent over there and all of the lives of Americans and good Afghanis that were killed? What was the purpose? And not to mention, didn't we leave billions of dollars of equipment? Who the hell leaves your fancy equipment there?
Did you see that parade, Veronica? Did you see the video? I was so outraged when I saw that video of that annual celebration or whatever they just had like 3 weeks ago. They were driving all this American equipment. American helicopters were flying in the air with these people.
It's disgusting. If you're going to leave it, you destroy it so it's not usable. Not usable.
Right, and what did they claim? Oh, we rendered it all inoperable. Well, it's like Geez, those sure look like helicopters, American helicopters to me, flying through the air.
Well,
Those sure look like Humvees that we owned and MRAPs that we left behind.
who
Everything.
wants to go back? They're back to the Stone Ages now. Women, children, all suffering.
Right.
The good guys that were over there and gals that were supporting America left, and to think that nobody, you said nobody was freaking held accountable. Nobody.
Right.
Our military's a mess.
I know, and then the other news is who's occupying Bagram Air Base now? That would be the Chinese.
Oh yeah.
I mean, talk about it. Talk about insulting.
Well, insulting. I took one for the team, and I watched the Democrat National Convention, the horror show, for 4 days that my husband left to watch Schitt's Creek. And oh my gosh, it was awful. Like literally, Orange Man bad and Let's Kill Babies, and just. Why are these people so they're not in tune? And I don't think anybody has God in their life, because who could follow this crew that it was so serious on Friday that RFK Jr. jumped ship. And I honestly think, John, that he's gonna and then his family's gone after him. I honestly think he will be known as one of the founding fathers that saved our nation, RFK Jr. And if you would ask me that 10 years ago, 20, I would have laughed in your face.
Well, at some point common sense takes over. Not everybody's an idiot and totes the Democrat Party line. And that's what gets me. I think that's why you see so many big name people are abandoning the Democrat Party. What did Ronald Reagan say many, many, many years ago? I didn't leave the Democrat Party. They left me. And I think that's what a lot of them, the ones that were left have finally figured out, that the Democrat Party that they know or knew doesn't exist anymore. It's now a communist leftist party. I sent you a little joke there about, Kamala the communist clown. And if you change all those to K's, that's the modern interpretation of the KKK, because, by the way, folks, the KKK is a Democrat organization, okay? It was started by Southern Democrats. Don't blame the Republicans. It's the Southern Democrats you need to go look at if you want to criticize anything about who these people really are, because that's what it is. And this is like, again, I don't think Kamala is, and you saw this from their whole week out there, right? Kamala is this thing, this figment, this symbol. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't do interviews. She has no policies, because it's all irrelevant. It's a machine. It's a political machine, and they're going to lie, cheat, and steal to get her elected. She will get 65 or 70 million votes. I can't imagine how on earth anybody could get that many votes, but she will get that many votes. And that's what they're going to do. It's a machine. She's the antithesis of America.
A lucky woman, because honestly, she has no talents. And she gave her speech, and she did deliver it. Which is always harder for women to deliver a speech. But there was no substance once again. And she's shaking her hand, and Trump, and then women's rights, and that means kill your babies, and it's just exhausting.
But the lies and the exaggeration. I mean, Trump derangement syndrome is a real mental disease for Democrats. Okay,
it is for some reason.
And to sit there and absolutely lie about what Trump's going to do or not do. He's going to sign a national abortion ban. Hi, folks. There's a platform, and there's Trump's own words saying, "Not going to happen on my watch. I'm going to let the states." We fought 50 years to put this back at the states, and that's where the decision will get made, is states. We're not going to have the national government do anything with abortion. The Supreme Court's already made that decision, and it's back in the states where it belongs. So let the states deal with it. We're not going to deal with it as a federal issue. So what's not clear about that? Trump's going to do a national abortion ban. No, he's not. All you got to do is listen to his words. The thing about Charlottesville, that's been debunked by even CNN. Okay, and yet they
And then
still say it.
I
They still say
know.
it.
Oh my gosh. And then Michelle Obama coming out with her "Let's Eat
Oh,
Cakes,"
Jesus.
speech.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that. She just rambled, and rich people her parents thought were bad, and this was the woman with four
Right.
mansions and
Right.
a stylist, and so. These people are just so exhausting. They're just evil, and they don't get it, and they don't care. They don't care that I'm trying to find the letter with darling Zuckerberg that yesterday he put out that was so shocking that it sounds like he's joining Team Trump. So we've got RFK Jr., which that was when I saw him come on stage in the Arizona rally, I actually had tears in my eyes. And then the speech was the speech he gave Friday, like I'm going to frame the speech because literally it's everything. They went after him for everything. They wouldn't let him have, interviews. They had lawyers going after him, millions of dollars, didn't want to give him security. Once he jumped to Trump, they pulled the security instantly when he finally got it for the 2 minutes he had it.
Yep.
But the speech is just one of the most powerful speeches. And then, of course, I was watching it on Communist News Network, John. And as he was throwing Kamala and CNN under the bus, we're breaking away, And so that was the hard part is I couldn't even watch the frickin' thing live because people weren't carrying it live. They were cutting away. CNN cut away, and so did MSNBC. Crap. I want the journalism when Trump gets in, that whole thing, because journalists used to have, we didn't know their bias before, at least it was in the closet. I want it to go back that direction again.
Well, it used to be journalists, but they're no longer journalists. They're all opinion makers or commenters or whatever you want to have. They're not journalists.
Hacks. They're political hacks.
Because they don't look at the facts. Anything from 60 Minutes on, they all have, and again, I learned this back in, media comms 101 for politicians. When the reporter calls you wanting a comment on a story, they've already written the story.
Yeah.
They've already, and all they're looking for is confirmation from you to lend credibility to their whatever it is. So you really have to listen, and I've heard it time and time again. They call you, they've got this premise, and they want you to confirm it, and you have to listen carefully, and then not fall into the trap, and get your point across. So there's an art to it, but back to this is what would it when you were in school growing up. What did they always talk about? Journalists, news people. What was it? The five W's?
Oh yeah.
Who, what, when, where,
no,
why?
When I went to my public affairs officer school, that's what it is, and it's not because
they don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore.
No, it's all they interject their opinion.
Their opinion, right?
Well, I think yesterday I was like, why is Zuckerberg coming out? So Zuckerberg. This is a Politico story, says he regrets caving into the White House pressure on content. Meta's CEO told the House Judiciary Committee that he wishes he'd been more outspoken against Biden administration efforts during the pandemic. Zuckerberg says he regrets Meta bowed to Biden's administration pressure to censor content, saying in a letter that the interference was wrong, John, and he plans to push back if it happens again. So it talks about, he detailed how they wanted him to censor posts about COVID, including humor and satire, and he expressed a lot of frustration when the social media platform resisted. He says, it's so wrong now that he did this. But I'm telling you, I became very active on social media in like 2014, 15, 16. And anytime I did something for Trump or my Catholic church or it said Republican, so many times I couldn't get my Catholic church. I couldn't get a message out because it would like freeze it, wouldn't let you post it for 24 hours, especially when I would do Trump events. So, and then my Panhandle Loves Trump page that was on fire disappeared. I didn't close that. That page was on fire the last couple of years. So
right.
it's gone. Poof.
But it's
See
all
ya.
disinformation. When you should really be alarmed when you have a government agency called the Bureau of Disinformation. Okay, and remember a couple of years ago that was real, and they just fried. The fortunately Republican congressman fried that woman that they put in charge of it, and it's like the government has no business telling anybody what they should or should not be publishing. I mean,
No,
it's just
unless it's
there's a thing
hurting
called a
somebody.
constitution, right?
Well,
The
so Jim
government shall make no
Jordan
law,
has
right?
asked for all the extensive internal communication records to check it out. And then Zuckerberg said that he would not repeat contributions he made in the last presidential
Thank
election
God,
cycle to
Zuckerbucks.
fund election infrastructure, which I think it
Yep.
was like $100 million. And he wrote saying that although they were intended to be nonpartisan, which is total BS.
Yep.
I'm interjecting that. Some people still interpreted the effort as benefiting one party or the other, and then his quote is, "My goal, John, is to be neutral and not play a role one way or another, or even to appear to be playing a role. So I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle." So that's the closing quote of the story. He's so full of crap.
First off, I'm glad he's not spending any money, because that there was a lot of controversy about whether what he was doing was even legal, because the supervisors, the election officials that took the money, that was close to being bribery. I mean, that it really is what it came down to. So private citizens cannot fund government activities. I mean, it's just not allowed.
Well, we know who he was voting for, but he must be worried. Maybe there's something that we don't know, that Trump is actually going to win. But on X, there's this guy I follow, and he has like a 1.2 million followers. And yesterday he's like, okay, something's going on. Everybody's too quiet on the left. So he's predicting there's going to be a 9/11 or something. Like when you start to read, and this guy's not a quackadoodle, when you start to read the comments, and, like, where has been Kamala? And then, like, Miranda Devine just posted that darling Biden's been on vacation for, like, 27 days. How are you president? Like, taking a nap on a beach? Like, he is fully checked out. Fully.
Well, that was funny. At the White House press conference there with John Kirby, the disgraced Navy Admiral John Kirby, who sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah, he did.
He was asked by a reporter there about Biden being a figurehead, and he's like, now come on, that's not true, And I'm just laughing my butt off, because it's like, we all know it's true.
Yeah.
You're standing there trying to defend it. It's like he's checked out. He's gone.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody.
Fully checked out. And then his speech was awful. His speech was negative. He was mad again. Number one, I was shocked because
Did you actually stay up past midnight to listen to it?
It was torture. I was like, so I had like one eye closed, and actually for his speech, I decided to crawl in my bed and I put my earbuds in. And I was trying to hide the phone under the covers, because my husband always complains it's too bright now that I have an X addiction. But no, I had it live. I was watching it live, and it was so negative. These people are just awful.
First off, Veronica, think about it. The president, the sitting president of the United States, was pushed off the stage till past midnight.
It was.
Can you imagine that? Like, who in the hell running that convention? Even, I think it was done intentionally. Number one,
it was done intentionally, because they said they added more.
They wanted to embarrass him, right?
And why? And then AOC came out and she's shaking her arm, and I'm a bartender, and he makes fun of bartender, and like I couldn't believe the hooting and they loved her, and then. This was disgusting. They had all these women that had abortions, and ectopic pregnancy is not an abortion, okay?
Right.
Or if a baby's dead and you have to give birth to it, it is not an abortion. So 2 of the women were that, and then they had one that had been raped by her father, and they're like, who would want to carry your daddy's child? Which I don't wish that on anybody, but I'm sorry, these are babies.
Still a child.
They're
right.
babies.
Still a child.
The baby
Still
didn't choose this.
Right. Still a person.
So it was so painful. And then people attacking me on X, saying, oh, well, then you need to adopt everybody. And then the Moms for Liberty, show me the list. So I went to Moms for Liberty, and I was trying to push back, John, but you have to go, and all the books are like alphabetized. It's not in one list to attach. And so this person kept going back and forth with me, and so I'm like, well, this is you can't, so many dragons I can slay. I've directed you to where the list is.
Yeah.
If you won't look, then don't stop beating me up.
The problem with arguing with a stupid person is you have to lower yourself down to their level of stupidity. Okay. That's always the problem.
Yes.
And they're better at being stupid than you are. So
no, I'm really not good at it, because I actually went to the website to try to attach it, because I feel like I am doing God's work.
But just the whole cast of characters, it was like a scene from the Island of Misfit Toys, or something.
Yes.
And I mean, they had that crew that got up there and tried to sing. What was it? The Star Spangled Banner. Did you see that?
Gosh.
I was horrified. I was watching these people, and it's like, how freaking stupid. Where did they round these people up? They don't know the words. Number one, let's start with that. They didn't know the words. They couldn't sing for crap, and they're up there just giddy, all, the one chunky lady, the beast, couldn't figure out whether to put her hand over her heart or not.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I'm watching all this little stuff going on. It's like, this is stupid. They're having side conversations while the others are singing, and it's like, how disrespectful. These are people that hate this country.
And then the weird thing was, like, Kamala and Tim Walz, like, they weren't there, like, on one of the nights. And I thought, I don't remember a convention where, like, people aren't at their convention, So that was really weird.
How about the part where they were rumoring Beyonce was going to show up, so that people would stay for Kamala?
X, if you're a big X addict like me, it was Beyonce, it was Tay-Tay, Taylor Swift, and then the one that pushed me over the edge was, they said George Bush was coming, and I was like, what the hell? And so I'm like, surely he's not. Surely you don't hate Trump that much, people. And then there was a slew of all the Republicans, like the lieutenant governor of Georgia came out, some woman that had worked for Trump. And like today, there's an article, let me find it here while we're chatting, about all of the lovely yahoos that are supporting, former Republicans that are supporting Trump now. I mean, Biden
another
now.
Bunch of losers. Well, first off, they were claiming to be former Republicans, and they're not. They're actually independents. And I think only one of them is a former Republican that actually turned Democrat. So the others, it was just another farce, It was just another way to, where are the fact checkers at on this stuff? Blatantly false stuff. Oh, well, they were once thought about being a Republican, so that's good enough.
Yeah.
For the fact checkers, the whole thing is just it's a show. And back to, where's the policy?
Nothing.
What do you stand for?
Yeah. What do
and
you stand
they're
for?
hijacking all the Trump ideas. Now they're the party of freedom. Okay. Freedom. You know what freedom means to these people? And this was probably one of the best analysis I've read about it. You remember when Barack Obama was president, he gave a speech where he said that the founding fathers got it wrong with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That instead of being a bill of negative rights, the government shall not, come up with a national religion. The government shall not make any law, abridging the freedom of speech. it says what the government can't do to you because you have individual rights. And he said, well, the founding fathers got it wrong. It should have been a bill of particulars of what the government should do for you, what the government's job is. And it's a very different approach to freedom because it denies that you have natural rights. And that's where these people are at. They're using the word freedom, and when they say freedom, what they mean is government intervention in your life. That's what they really mean when they talk about it.
Well, I'm trying to find the letter, which is apparently hidden here on X, but it says 200 former staffers have come out with it, and even like Meghan McCain, posted a picture because it was like the anniversary of her father dying, and she's like,
"Oh yeah,
well, I'm not going to vote for Trump either," and I'm like, well,
"Of course
shut up,
not.
then shut up."
Who cares?
Yeah.
Liz Cheney. Who cares?
Oh
Adam Kinzinger.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yes. See, I don't need the 200. I'm trying to find the names, and you know them by heart. A+, Sean. But exactly. So I was like, are you kidding me? Because Kamala is so radical. And then Peter, what's his name? Scorch, the one that came on, or not Scorch, the one from one of the institutes. He's been on our show. Peter, he wrote a book about the China. He's always going after, he's always investigating. Let me see, what's his name? He came out and said that.
Who, Navarro?
No. Peter, is it Schweizer? Schweizer.
Okay.
He was on our show, and he's written a bunch of books, Blood Money. The last one was Red-Handed about China, and he's from the consulting group, Government Accountability Institute. And he came out yesterday saying that he thinks that Tim Walz is a communist plant. He's working for
he is
the
China.
Manchurian candidate.
China, yes,
and
exactly.
I've been seeing that because he went over there so many times. He got married on the freaking Tiananmen Square massacre day, where several hundred people died, thousands were injured. What is wrong? He is like he's the bad guy. He is the bad guy. And then they tried to portray him. They had his football team all in their jerseys on the stage because he's Captain Kangaroo is the coach that's going to save America. And then his wife, and then of course the video said, John, that he had started the LGBTQ. He was the founding advisor for that. At his high school, which I don't care if you're gay. I don't care. But I'm telling you, he's so radical with the transgenderism and surgery on kids under 18.
Right. He signed a bill that denies parents any rights or say in a child under 18 getting gender changing, mutilation surgery. Their parents can't say anything about it in Minnesota.
Well, I've been hearing a lot from people that it's mental illness because I don't know why this is happening. And then I think too, a lot of times, the like J-Lo's daughter and Ben Affleck's daughter are now pretending to be boys. I think it's a cry for help from what's going on in your life. Your parents have been divorced, have 15 boyfriends and girlfriends, and nobody's looking at you, and so you decide that you're going to do this. But for a government to come in and allow you to have surgery before you're 18, there's no going back, John. There's no going back. And it's permanent mutilation. It's like we were talking with Josh Denny earlier. What you're seeing here is this is the ripple effects, the second and third and fourth order effects of abortion. If you have no respect for life, which if you're in favor of abortion, you have no respect for life, okay? Because you don't believe in life. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in anything. It's as Obama said, a tissue, piece of tissue. It's like a scab, you got to peel it off. That if you don't have respect for the most fundamental beginning of a human life, what does anything else past that mean? You don't care about denying medical care to old people. Well, they're at the end of their life anyway, so who cares? They're old people. That's where this goes. Okay, people become no longer people. You're just a mass of tissue that needs to be discarded because you don't agree with whoever. Well, these people are radical loons, and then to think that this woman might not even debate Trump because she needs freaking crib notes. Let her have her damn crib notes, because I don't even think with crib notes it's going to be like, you know, I made a comment in the Daily Mail under my secret name. It's a Japanese name, by the way. I commented that give her the damn crib notes, because she'll be like Corinne Jean-Pierre. She's not going to be able to get through
The
them.
binder.
Yeah.
The binder.
Because that woman, she's got all the answers and she can't even answer the question. But why does Kamala get a pass and the American people don't get to hear her? Don't get to hear her debate. BS. I call BS. And then she's like, oh, she's for hot mics because she wants people to hear Trump. Well,
no, she's for hot mics because she's going to try to do to Trump what she did to Mike Pence. Now, Mike Pence was very gentlemanly and didn't do anything.
He wasn't an engager. He wouldn't engage you.
Right. And she's like, excuse me, but I'm speaking. You know, that a little snarky. You know, I'm speaking. You know, and if she tries that on Trump, if Trump's Trump and she tries that on him, he's going to shove it down her throat.
Well, I thought he was very good on the debate with Biden. I mean, definitely, Biden was the sacrificial lamb because they knew, right? And we see he's checked out with his, 30 days of vacay and flying Air Force One all over Timbuktu. Yeah, what's your carbon footprint? Tell me, President.
Right. And it's sort of like, when people are shooting themselves in the foot, don't get in the way. Let them proceed to do the damage.
So breaking news. This is just out. I can't. They just recycle crap and throw it against the wall. Special counsel. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Unveils new Trump indictment in January 6th case. John. Jack Smith sticks with the same charges against former president. Says new indictment conforms with Supreme Court's immunity ruling. And it says that special counsel Jack Smith, on Tuesday, he filed it again, trying to undo his against Donald Trump for trying to undo the 2020 election loss, saying the case remains largely intact, even, John, after the Supreme Court July ruling that former presidents have sweeping immunity for acts they take while in office. With the new indictment, Trump faces the same four crappy federal offenses he was originally charged with related to efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Poor reporter that had to write this. That culminated in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. But Smith said the government refashioned the case to conform to the Supreme Court's holding that presidents may not be prosecuted for exercising their core constitutional powers. It just goes on and on and on. What? They're recycling the mud, John.
Of course they are. Well, let's start with the very first piece of that. That is Jack Smith. A federal judge has said Jack Smith was illegally appointed. Okay, illegally appointed, so he has no authority as special counsel because of his appointment was not in conformance with the law. So that's, you got to get past that, number one. So now you've got a judge that's already said that and threw out the entire classified documents case basically. And of course Jack Smith is going to appeal that, so it's going to go to the Supreme Court. I mean, it's more election noise. And the thing I find bewildering, Veronica, is these people keep going at it, okay? And it's backfired. Every time it backfires on them. And it makes Trump more popular every time they do this. And that's what I'm trying to figure out is why do they keep doing it? They know it's a losing formula, yet they keep doing it.
I don't know. I mean, how much is this? How much are we going to have to put up with? And what if she doesn't debate? They're just going to let Barbie doll Kamala slide in, and we're never going to hear an interview from her. She's
of course.
I think it's been a month since she took over that.
5 weeks. 5 weeks.
Okay.
5 weeks.
Not even a
10 weeks to go.
Damn interview. Oh my gosh. And then of course her husband, the speech by her husband, I was like puking. And then they're trying to say he's like the sexiest man a year. These people.
Maybe to the nanny. maybe to the nanny.
Exactly. They're all gross. They're all gross. No morals. Not who we want. Leading the way of our nation. And so she tried in the speech to go that she'd be a strong commander in chief and support our troops. And I'm going, ugh. She can't even, like, when they've had sound bites from her, the couple that they've had in the last couple of weeks, she says nothing, John. It's nothing. And then this hope and joy crap.
Yep.
I had joy when RFK Jr. joined our team, ladies and gentlemen. That gave me joy, finally. And then I've seen it's come out of like a communist playbook, this hope and joy, that they pulled it out. Like, how's that policy?
How about the Nazi Party playbook?
Well, wherever it came from, one of those playbooks.
That was one of their mottos, was hope and joy.
These people are stupid.
I was like astonished when I heard that.
Well, they're saying that the Green Party,
strength through joy. That was the Nazi motto, was strength through joy.
Well, they're saying that the Green Party gal is going to join. I don't know if she's done that today. And then who's the black guy? I listened to him on an X Space.
Cornel West?
Yes, that he's probably going to join our team now, even though Kamala's like desperately trying to woo him at this point.
Well, the Democrats had him thrown off. The Democrats had him thrown off the ballot in Pennsylvania. He was trying to get on the ballot in Pennsylvania, and they had him thrown off.
Well, I'm tired of the Dems doing this, and then I'm so concerned. They're the ones,
how is it, Veronica? They keep talking about Trump's going to end democracy, and the Democrats are the ones out trying to keep everybody off the ballot.
Yeah, no, I'm really scared because I've seen videos even throughout Florida at DMVs of people being registered, and we don't have anything in effect yet that shows on your license that you are not an American citizen. And
I thought there was.
I don't know. I
don't have my license handy, but I thought it said on there if you were a U.S. citizen.
No, it doesn't. It says that if you're a veteran on there, and that was one of the bills when I went this year to Tallahassee for Liberty Days for the Republican Liberty Caucus. That was being proposed as one of the things, and I'm all for that.
I thought Governor DeSantis said he was doing something about making sure only U.S. citizens voted.
Well, I don't know if it's been implemented.
And I haven't heard any details
on that. And I'm very
scared.
scared. And then the other thing that's coming out, and I'm going to see if I can get like Ruth Griffiths to come on and talk, our representative, is Amendment 4. Amendment 3. Which one's the pot one?
Amendment 3.
Amendment 3, that they're going to legalize pot. And Christina Push, I can never say her name. She works for DeSantis. And now she follows me because I've been commenting because she's been fighting against Amendment 3 and pot, and all these people are going, oh, you must be like working for DeSantis and in the hemp trade. So that actually came into me today, and I responded back. I said, I'm a retired military officer. I don't do drugs, because they keep implying that I do drugs, and like, it's actually $600 million, John. $600 million has come in to support pushing this resolution. It's over $600 million.
Well, it's big business, Veronica. What's rule one? What's rule one?
I know. John's rule: follow the money. Follow the money.
Follow the money. You want to know the truth? Follow the money.
What's our first tattoo going to be? I think it's going to be follow the money. Mine might be you are an idiot. You know. But yeah, so this dude that, by the way, I changed my profile picture because people kept saying, "Oh, your hair's so red." Because sometimes when you have red hair, in lighting, it looks redder than other times, and I pay big bucks for my money. So yes, I am a talk show host.
Veronica,
I could talk about
your
myself.
Picture.
Well,
don't change your picture. Don't let people bully you, because it's my hair is my hair and my color is my color.
So I've been without my check mark for like 3 days because they have to verify your damn picture, which is so annoying because I pay $22. And so anyways, I changed my picture. So literally, when we've been doing a show this afternoon, my check mark came back. Thank you, Jesus, back during because I fight on X on his behalf. just came back. But the dude it's two fat white dudes with their shirts off, and he's telling me about my hair. And I'm like, honey, go put your shirt back on. But
nobody wants to see that.
This is a true story. I'm telling you. But I'll have to see if I can, now that Christina Peshwa follows me, if she will come on the show, because she literally, I've always known she's like kick ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but she's pushing
She's really
back.
good at comms. You know, good
she's
comms
wonderful, and we really, we don't need this amendment in our state. And it was so funny because I've shared it with a few people. It was somebody out of Colorado who had wanted pot and wanted it so bad, and they wrote a long ass post about what it's done to their state. John, it is not good. And so I even commented back because I flew out to Seattle multiple times, and it's a drug induced state now. And then they come and they poop on your doorstep because they're high, right. And they live on the street and they just want to get high and poop on your doorstep. And these are true stories because I've seen it. So
you just need some guardrails in a society, and
that's an excellent analogy. Yes,
it really is, because because you can literally go greening off the side, and that's every little bit. Robert Bork's book, was really good there. About a degenerating society, and everything we do
there,
back
John.
to abortion. We devalue life. Everything keeps going. You can't have standards. If you have standards, you're a racist. You're a bigot. You're a homophobe. Whatever. It's like, I don't care how people live. You want to do that. That's fine. You have no right to shove it in my face. So, you have no right to tell me that I have to accept you.
Well,
because
that was the other thing. All of those speeches were like, you have the right to love who you want to love, and I'm like, love what you want to love, but why is it always in our face?
Why do I care? Why should I care about who you love? I don't.
Just don't be a criminal.
Irrelevant. Right. Live your life however you want to live it, that makes you feel good, as long as you're not doing a criminal act.
Well, I am.
I don't care.
One of I just found the Zuckerberg letter. Whenever I'm like talking about an issue, I always can never find it, But one of the things he regretted doing, back to little Zuckbox, was he admits he suppressed the Hunter Biden investigation. That was number 2, John. And he admits he was a suppressor of free speech. So this guy's a toad. He must be nervous. He's got to be nervous. Is the only thing I can think of.
Well, hopefully the epiphany is not too late, but you never know.
I don't know. But what are we missing up in our roundup here in our Afterburner?
All right. So I want your opinion on this story, because there's more to it than something's going on, and I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Did you send me the story? I don't think you did.
No, you've probably been reading. You've probably been getting notices from all the Republican politicians about this state park building, building hotels and golf courses.
Yes, that's the other reason we need to have Griff on here. Yes.
I'm like, so where did this come from? You remember, we have a Republican administration, right? The Department of whatever, pick it, is all Republicans. The people in there were appointed by Republicans.
And even Matt Gaetz has weighed in on it, by the way.
Right. Don Gates. I got a letter from Don Gates, chapter and verse of why this is insane.
Yeah.
And I agree 100% with them, and everybody, all the Republicans, Jimmy Petronas is against it.
I saw that on X.
Simpson's against it. The governor's come out against it. Kathleen Pasademo's come out. Everybody's talking. This is a crazy idea. Where the hell did it come from in a Republican administration? How did it ever get surfaced? What is going on? Something is not right somewhere. So how did this thing ever get?
Well, what do you think it is? Because I like golf courses, because I'm not going to go hiking, ladies and gentlemen. So I would be okay riding around in a golf cart. But I know you can't ruin beauty. So where do you think it came from? Because I've seen all of it. Yeah.
I don't. That's what I don't understand. It's like it obviously came out of the government people want to do this, and and want to become a commercial business to compete with commercial, you know, if you're building a hotel, a government-owned hotel, you're competing with the local private businesses. If you build a golf course, you're competing with the local golf courses. And as Don Gates pointed out, golf is a declining sport.
Does he really feel that way? See, I don't feel that way actually.
No, he was saying what he was saying was there's a lot of, I think there's like 2,700 golf courses in Florida, and a bunch of them are failing because they don't have golfers. Because who plays golf? Older men. Younger men are not wanting to get into the sport. Women are not wanting to get into. They're all playing pickleball.
Okay, well, I paid lots of money for my children to have golf lessons, John.
And they're gonna build pickleball courts too, of course.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So it's like this is crazy. It's not the government's job to provide pickleball courts or golf courses for me. You know. And why should I be subsidizing people that want to play golf?
Who I can get on, because I did see that, and I'm like, that's not the issue I care about. I'm concerned, and actually the church every Sunday, I'm so impressed. The Catholic Church is saying, do not support Amendment 4, which is about abortion, which I'm confused on why that's on the ballot. You sent me that James Madison Institute thing about all of the amendments.
The analysis.
I need to read that fully. Have you read that fully, what you sent me?
Yes, okay. I did.
Well, maybe we can, I'll see if I can get Griff on here and we can talk about all of those things. But, yeah, I've been so impressed because the Catholic Church is never political, but they've been saying don't support that every week. And
well, they better get political, Veronica, because they're watching.
People should be political. I'm sorry.
It's part of life, you know, and it's like, oh, we need to be apolitical because we don't want to offend anybody. And it's like you have a set of beliefs, and if your core beliefs offend somebody, then you know maybe you should try to persuade them, but you shouldn't compromise your core beliefs because you're afraid you're going to offend somebody and they're not going to come to church. And it's like either they believe or they don't.
Well, or they probably weren't at church. They're not churchgoers.
well, you know, it's like Biden. You know, I'm a good Catholic. You know,
I'm sorry.
No, he's not. He's not.
I'm done. Not with this. When you
Nancy
have a
Pelosi,
food truck
excommunicator, you know,
25 abortions, and people were proud about it. You know,
right.
I don't care about the vasectomies. I'm not a man. I don't know what it's like having a vasectomy, but I can't imagine you get snipped and you want to go to a dumb convention and listen to these dumbass speeches.
Well, a vasectomy is different. You're not killing somebody.
No,
okay?
I was fine with that. I'm going, who goes to because you know these things, you go to the speeches all day and then you party all night, people. And you don't need to be partying with an ice pack.
But they're into self-mutilation, Veronica. You know, it's okay to chop up a 12-year-old's genitals. You know, that's fine. No problem there.
No, because yesterday, like, X is like a lot. It is a lot, and only apparently I get in jail for nothing. But it was Libs of TikTok, and it had some man that became a woman, and they posted this little video, and like he was so happy, and I was like, and the comment, I can't even say what he said, but I literally wanted to throw up. I wanted to throw up because I'm like, this is not normal. But whatever, he was a grown up, so let him do that. But a child is a child, and then that's the other thing. You know, I'm kind of excited about RFK and cleaning up our health. All of our food and stuff, you know, because I get really hot and dehydrated, so I drink a lot of the Powerade Light or the Gatorade Light, and apparently there's the red dye in there that's so bad for you. You know, I'll mix it with my water, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, why do we have awful things, you know? I will say though, like after I had cancer and I lost my taste buds, when they came back, John, I ate an entire 12 Hostess cupcakes, and they tasted damn good. Haven't done that since then. I haven't had a cupcake since then because I literally ate like 12 of them.
Yeah, you're good. But I'm glad they haven't gotten rid of Twinkies. You know,
right. That's our childhood. They did for a while, and then I think it was just we took them away so that you'll buy them again when we bring them back. You know.
I'll tell you a funny from a movie. It was a short line, and it was about a movie about somewhere way in the future there, where the cities didn't exist anymore, that they built these mobile cities, and this kid gets thrown off, the city, and he's out in the middle of nowhere, and they're looking for food, and they find a package of Twinkies, okay? An unopened package of Twinkies, and it's 1,000 years old.
Oh gosh,
and
are they hard
they
as
rip
bricks?
it open, and they rip it open and eat it, and it's like,
okay,
there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly good.
Since my kids were young, and now I'm craving a Twinkie because like that frosting in the middle. Oh, that's so damn good.
Well, in a couple of months, you can go up to the Peanut Festival up in Dothan, and you can have a fried Twinkie at one of the concessions.
That sounds disgusting. I've never been to that.
They sell fried Twinkies up there.
Every day, literally for weeks, the political cycle has been on fire. I just kind of strap on my seatbelt, and I know we're doing some more shows tomorrow. We're supposed to have Alan West on, so I'll be sharing that. But I'm doing each show. They're all standalone, but every single show, John, and the guests are just riveting. And I don't even know what are we, less than 70 days now till the election cycle? I don't know. Dan Bongino kind of always lets like Kamala is the worst vice president ever. And then people start. And then, of course, now that I have my check mark, I always start, and you get thousands of, yeah, she's right, And I'm so glad Matt Gaetz got reelected, not a problem. And he actually shared one of my tweets, and I got like 75,000 people saw it, so supporting him. And so I don't know. It was a rough election cycle, and I'm so glad George Norris, who you and I love, is our state committee man.
Me too. I'm glad George.
Nancy
and he won by a good number.
Nancy Viejo, who we support, she only won by like 147 votes. She was the winner that we supported. So she won, was very happy about that. The others, it's hard to take out incumbents, but maybe it woke them up. And that's the thing. If you're an incumbent, get off your ass and do your job. And that's the problem, is a lot of these incumbents, they don't do it, John.
Well, I'm glad we had people to run against them, because, it should never be people, this country, it shouldn't get to the point where nobody cares enough to run for office, because I don't care who you are. Nobody's perfect. And there's always somebody out there that's better, smarter, faster, whatever, and as you said, if you just sit there on your, don't do anything and just say, hey, I'm the incumbent, I'm going to win, you need to go. You're not serving your constituents.
And then I'm sure you saw, because the Commission of Lynn Haven is today, they're trying to censure the city manager for not firing Chief Ramey, the police chief that left a bar at like 2 or 3 in the morning, in his dually, he hit a vehicle and drove off, and he only was caught because they had video. And so the case was sent over to Santa Rosa, and he was given kind of a slap on the hand, has to do like a driver's course, write an apology to the people. He's already paid the restitution, and it sounds like he's getting his job back. And so Beacon of the Bay, I commend them. They came out with a poll saying, should Chief Ramey be fired? Because I know the one commissioner, Jamie, I can't think of his last name right now, he tonight is bringing up this censure, and over 600 people to 10 voted that Chief Ramey needs to be fired. And how do you have a chief running police? Law enforcement needs to be the most moral thing out there, John. And now you have a police that said it was a medical emergency, and everybody's saying he was drunk when he hit that vehicle.
Of course, you're exactly right. It was irresponsible, and he's the chief of police. He knows the ignorance of the law. Remember, they keep telling you that ignorance of the law is no excuse. He knows the law. And he was covering his ass, because he didn't want to lose his job. And I think he ought to lose his job, because that's the example that needs to be set. Okay,
well,
this is a leadership question. Okay,
it's not needs to be a voted in position, because the voters would have ousted him for sure.
I disagree with that, because the city manager the city manager works for the council. Okay, the commission. and you need a clear line of authority. So,
if they're not going to fire him, and you and I are from the
if the city
military culture, DUIs do not fly in my book. There's no excuse for
I understand
DUIs.
it, Veronica, but let me give you an example. Up here near the farm, there's a town over here, and the city manager was running the city against the wishes of the commission, and the voters voted a bunch of the commissioners out because they were pissed off. And the new ones come in, and it was a matter of, did they have the cojones to stand up and fire the city manager? And they did.
Oh, wow.
That's their job. Their job is, if the citizens say the police chief needs to be fired, this representative government, remember that, okay?
Don't you think 600, that's a lot of votes for...
That's exactly right. And those commissioners ought to be taking that seriously. And they ought to put it straight to the city manager. It's like, look, we're not involved in your day-to-day operations, but as a matter of policy and an example of the city, we can't have a police chief that goes off and breaks the law like this and then tell the citizens that they're going to be held accountable if they do the same thing. It doesn't work that way.
Well,
the guy needs to be fired.
People have come to me. Everybody's upset by it. They all want him ousted because they don't feel like it's going to be the right person that did something wrong and is not held accountable. And in that position, you are like a god, and you need to act like one and be. You have to be perfect. And this was not perfect. Had there been no camera, nothing would have happened to this man.
Right. And I'll go back to my days on the Judicial Nominating Commission. You have to hold. It was one of the questions we came up with on morality and judges. You have to hold them to a higher standard than you would the everyday citizen. Because they're sitting up there in judgment of you, and they're going to impose a sentence on you that denies your liberty. And a police chief is one step below that. Okay? He needs to be accountable. If he had any honor, he would have resigned if he had any honor. It's obvious he doesn't have any. So to me, the city manager, it's either city manager, do your job and fire this guy, or we're going to fire you. That's what it ought to be put to him. Do your job, because we're not in charge of personnel, but you need to hold this guy accountable. And if you're not going to do it, we'll fire you, and we'll find somebody that will hold people accountable. That's the way it works.
Well, it's over 600.
Well, they're all timid. They're all timid. They're afraid of their own freaking shadows. That's the part that disgusts me. Maybe one of them will stand up and say something, but for the most part, these commissioners are more interested in keeping their jobs, and not doing anything.
They make like $12,000 a year, and this is the most important position to me. When it comes to your city, is having a trusted agent in that job. So I don't know. Right. I'm just very disappointed. And what is this censure going to do? And he's still going to have a job. Jamie Warwick is the one leading the charge on this. And
I think forget censure. Fire him. He needs an example. Needs to be. We're always talking about the military, right? How many people got fired because of what happened in Afghanistan? None. How many of them got fired from the Secret Service because Trump almost got killed? None. Yeah. Until you start holding people accountable, they're not going to be accountable, and then they'll just let it slide back to this degrading society. It's just another slippery slope. We're down another step.
Well, 600 people have spoken, and I know a lot that have said he needs to go.
Like I said, if the guy had any honor and integrity.
No, people today do whatever they want. They don't care.
And the fact that he didn't
Look at Tim
stop.
Waltz. He's gotten away with everything.
Right.
So.
He steals valor from people that really, he stole the valor from the people that actually went over to Afghanistan.
Well, okay. You've met these people, and I've met them in the officer ranks and in the enlisted ranks, and they're trying to be more important than they are. Walk on your back to get the rank and the medal, and talk bad, and not do the work. And this guy sounds exactly like one of those creepers that, probably 1 out of 20 are. And he wants to be our VP, and I think he's a Chinese plant. he'll be
he's
one
got so many strikes
away from the presidency.
Veronica, I never thought in my lifetime that I would see communists running for the president and vice president of the United States. And I say that in all sincerity.
No,
I'm not joking.
Especially when
they are communists.
My father-in-law fled Hungary on foot. Like I know people. My college professor left Cuba because of communism. I've met people that they've given it all. Like you meet all these Vietnamese, doing your nails and stuff. They fled. We've had Hung Cao that hopefully gets the Senate seat. Virginia's looking pretty red, like it's going to be red. Like these people understand what it means.
Right. We talked to Laszlo Kilma today, and he fled Hungary after his mother and father were killed by the state.
Yeah, he said murdered. Yeah,
murdered.
I didn't
yes,
know that.
That's not a joke. That's not. He understands he understands what's going on, and he doesn't want any part of it. He doesn't want to see it happen here.
Yeah, that he came to a country, didn't know the language, and lived in a closet pretty much for a couple years, getting to learn the language.
Get started, right?
Took a factory job when he'd been like management with degrees.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is people that like we live in this society where we give everything to everyone, and like the one that's pushed me over the edge is California saying they're going to give, and Kamala too, $25,000 to illegals to buy property.
Another stupid idea. You think the housing crisis? You think the housing crisis? Everybody forgets the housing crisis from 2008.
You have children. I have children. We know how hard they work. People can't buy houses right now with the interest rate, and then these people that I don't even know who the hell you are. And, I don't know. I've never been a prejudiced person, but when I don't know who somebody is and they're not vetted, I'm scared because I think you might be one of the criminals that's been let out of these jails in these countries,
Veronica, why are prices so high? Why does it, I've been in shock the last couple of weeks here. We went out to Olive Garden, okay?
Oh, I know. Olive Garden's a great staple.
$80.
Yeah, and it used to be like $50. No, everything's double, John.
$80.
Which I shop in a bunch of stores. So Aldi the other day had bacon for $4.99, and I was like, "Let me have the bacon."
Bargain!
Because it's been like $10 everywhere else, and so I actually bought some, but then I'm too lazy to make it because it's messy. But it's in my fridge. Damn it, it's in my fridge.
I've learned to cook all the bacon at one time, and then put the cooked bacon back in the fridge.
And have a good BLT. But when you don't have kids in your house, I'm like, nobody makes me beignets and bacon, damn it. But on that note, John, I will we're gonna wrap Veronica Live, and again we're on follow me on X. I just got my check mark back, so Veronica Live, it's at Veronica Talk. I do post stuff on LinkedIn. I've kind of been bad at Facebook because I really feel like LinkedIn or X is where it's at. Instagram, Facebook, Veronica Live. So we're trying to get out. And then I'm on all the podcasts, iTunes, iHeart. Actually, there's a few people that listen to YouTube. So we're on YouTube, Spotify, Podcast Addict, to name a few. But, follow us and help us go national. If you like the show, let us know. And you can always message me or email me at veronicalivetalk@gmail.com. All right, John, big guest tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, have a good one.
Sounds good, Veronica.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Veronica Live out.